Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andrew from AR Media. In tonight's video, I'm going to review Happy Death Day in 4K HDR. Now let's get to the movie first. Now I missed this in theaters, so I was super pumped to give this a watch, and I went into it expecting a horror, and that's not exactly what it is. Now it is a fun, entertaining ride throughout, but just don't go into it expecting much horror or much gore, because you're not going to get that here. So now that I got that out of the way, it is a very fun and entertaining movie. It's like a Groundhog's Day type movie with a horror twist. Now we saw a Groundhog's Day type movie just last year with Before I Fall, and I would say this is a lot better. It has an original horror twist to it that's not so much horror as in that it's scary, but it just fits with the horror cliche genre and kind of goes back to its slasher roots in a way. Not as much as I wish it would, but it was a very enjoyable movie, a great popcorn flick, a great movie to watch with a couple of friends, and something that I'll rewatch a couple of times for sure. Now let's get to the picture quality. So this is a 2K digital intermediate upscale to 4K, and what we get with that is a nice increase in details. So the way I compared this was I watched the iTunes 4K HDR version, and then I watched the Vudu HD version, and then I watched the Apple HD version. And the Apple HD version and the Vudu HD version were pretty comparable, but what I will say is that the 4K brought a nice uptick in detail, it brought a nice uptick in depth, and it brought a nice uptick in clarity. So the detail here, this was a digitally shot image, so the detail is sharp as a tack here. The colors are super bright here, and all the details, whether it be on the clothing, on the landscape, whether it be on Tree's hair, the main character, pores on her face, and just really those scenes show as much detail as possible, and shooting digitally really helps with that nice clean image. Now the depth here is also very good. Again, thriller movie, so you will get people coming towards you, and it does give that nice 3D effect. Not the most convincing I've seen, but it may be better on disc, but sadly we won't be getting that. Now let's hit on the HDR. The HDR on this one is very good. Now again, this is a digitally shot movie and it's very bright, and that lends itself very well to the HDR. The brights are super bright here. They pop off the screen whenever they want to, whether it be the luscious green grass, whether it be the various colors of clothing that Tree uses, whether it be the green on the night vision goggles that she eventually uses. Everything really pops off the screen here when it needs to. Now, the shadow detail here is also very good. So there's clearly a lot of nighttime scenes because it is a horror movie at the core, and there's a lot of dark scenes, and in those there's great shadow detail. You can make out a lot more than you can on the HD copy without the HDR intact. Now black levels are also good here throughout. There's not many standout scenes where the black levels really stand out from the rest, but it is good all around. Now let's get to the audio. Now this does not have an immersive audio track, so it does not have Dolby Atmos or DTS:X, but it does have a Dolby 5.1 track, and it does sound very good, but audio would not be the reason to buy this in my opinion. Anyway guys, I think this is worth the buy because it's not coming out in 4K UHD Blu-ray. I wish it was, otherwise I would have held out for that. But for $14.99 on iTunes right now, you may be able to find a better deal elsewhere as well. It's a good deal in my opinion. I think it's a better deal than the Blu-ray. I believe this is a digital exclusive and the code will not be coming out, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But just to get it a couple weeks early and with the great picture quality and the 4K over the Blu-ray, I think it's a great pickup. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. Let me know if you saw Happy Death Day down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if you plan on picking it up, and have a good night guys.